What went through your mind when you heard about sort of the most recent indictment upon Senator Menendez?
Well, not just Menendez. How many people from New Jersey get in trouble? We're known for...
Right.
But I wasn't like surprised by it at all because I feel like there's a lot of corruption in
New Jersey
in politics.
Welcome back to America Decides. That was some of New Jersey Democratic Congressman Andy Kim's first Senate campaign ad, one of the most creative launch videos we've seen. It comes as Senator Bob Menendez has remained defiant since being indicted on allegations of conspiring to act as an unregistered foreign agent. Congressman Kim sat down with CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion earlier today.
Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. You know, I know when you launched your campaign, you talked a lot about broken politics. What is broken politics to you, and how do you think you can fix it if you're elected as New Jersey's next senator?
Yeah, I mean, broken politics is what a lot of people feel right now when they look at what's happening. Right now, we live in the time of the greatest amount of distrust in government in modern American history. In my state of New Jersey, 84% of New Jerseyans believe that their politicians are corrupt. And I just think that that's indicative of just, people don't think that government and politicians are focused on the issues that they care about. They think that people are just in it for their own personal ambitions. So what I'm trying to do is try to restore that trust, and by doing so, trying to restore a sense of integrity in our politics. I'm somebody who's been a public servant my whole career. I'm somebody that's fighting against the corruption here in Congress, pushing forward legislation to be able to do so. And I hope people see in me someone who is trying to be for the people.
I know you just launched your Senate campaign last week, but you technically announced a couple of weeks ago, not long after Senator Bob Menendez was charged. Did you jump the gun there? I mean, he has said that he's innocent.
No, look, I think what's important right now is that the people of New Jersey have a choice. And they're going to have a choice next June in the primary and the choice next November in the general election. And that's what I wanted to provide. And I think that it's really important that people feel that they are the ones that are in the driver's seat of their democracy. And again, I think that that's something that they get worried about. There are just so many concerns that just politics is so out of touch, that decisions are made in backroom deals and things like that. That's what people are tired of. And I've heard it as I've gone all across the state. People were excited that I took a strong and bold decision to jump in and be able to make sure that people have the kind of choice and democracy that they so badly deserve.
I mean, prior to his legal troubles and you announcing, how would you characterize your relationship with the senator?
Well, look, I work with the New Jersey delegation in both chambers, and we've worked on legislation. I don't particularly know the senator very well, but we've had opportunities to be able to work on different issues together. And look, I'm somebody that'll work with anybody in Congress if we're able to get things done, be able to serve the people. But what we need to make sure is that, again, that the people that are coming to government, coming into politics, are there for the right reasons. What I'll just say is I had a boss that once told me when I worked at the State Department in national security, he said, you don't have good government unless you have good people working in government. And I truly believe that. We just need to make sure that we have people that are here for the right reasons, people of integrity.
Did you ever reach out and give him a heads up?
No, I did not. I think the moment was when I called for him to step down. He released an immediate response saying that he's not going anywhere. He said, I am not going anywhere. So I just felt like, I needed to have a strong and immediate response back saying, well, then we give the people of New Jersey a choice.
As you mentioned, you have called on the senator to step down. You've called for him to be expelled from the Senate. You are someone who has worked in the national security space. So when you go through that superseding indictment, particularly this latest charge that alleges the senator acted as a foreign agent, what troubles you most?
Well, what troubles me most is this question. I mean, with national security, it's the last place that partisan politics belongs. It's a place where we have to have the utmost care. And as someone who worked in national security before, worked in embassies abroad, the hope is that our leaders back in Washington will have our backs. And so when there are allegations that the senator may have provided personal information about different U.S. government employees at the embassy or potentially other types of dealings, that is of the highest of concern to me. And that's something that I think merits the strongest kind of response because of just the breach of confidence there. We work jobs whose job descriptions are in the Constitution of the United States. It demands the highest of standards, the highest possible standards.
In terms of your candidacy, you're not the only person interested in this seat. As I'm sure you well know, there is talk that Governor Phil Murphy's wife, Tammy, may get in. Do you see her as a competitive challenger?
Well, I think anyone is allowed to participate in our democracy. That is the rights afforded to us. And I think, again, my main issue, as someone who's been battle tested, I've won 3 of the toughest races in recent New Jersey history, including as a Democrat winning a district that Trump won twice. So I know how to win. And how I win is by getting my message out there. And so I don't know how she or others are going to do. She's never run for office before, so we'll have to see how the voters respond.
All right, Congressman Andy Kim, Senate candidate for the state of New Jersey, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.